We're almost at the end of the semester, and I want to make sure that everyone had a chance here to get things together and understand what I'm expecting as you finish up the last few assignments and everything. As I mentioned to you on forecasting in the announcement, that I really believe that forecasting is one of the things that, as operations managers, that really is important. So understanding how to do forecasting, I want to make sure that you can do that. So I have posted a video for you in assignment 5 for you to be able to go in and redo your assignment 5 if you want to do that. All right, if you want to revise it, resubmit it, make sure that you have it submitted here by the end of the, by Sunday, this upcoming Sunday. And then I also know that we're running out of time, and because of that, if you're working on the forecasting, then that's just extra work. So instead, I have given everyone 100 for their assignment 6. You do not have to do assignment 6. As a matter of fact, I already had 5 people who finished assignment 6, and since they have finished it, I'm giving them an extra 20 points, so they'll get 120 on assignment 6 for the course. If you want to finish assignment 6 and upload it, I will also give you that opportunity to where you can have a 120 on that assignment 6 as well. I want you also to be able to start focusing on the final paper, and I've gotten a couple of emails on it and want to make sure that with it that you're ready to go. Okay, the final paper, when you look at this last module, you see that there are 2 things in it. The instructions are in the final exam section, and then there is an example of a decision paper here. I'm going to open up the final exam so we can talk about it. What I want you to do is I want you to pick a topic that matters to you, okay? An operations management topic. And again, what we're talking about for the operations management, the things that we have discussed in this class, also included in there are process improvements and things like that. All right, so again, pick a topic, something that matters to you. I have had everything from business related, where people are trying to make decisions on how they should change the process flow for in-processing of clients, all the way to people choosing which vacation their family should take. What I want is you to be able to go in, find a topic that matters to you, and from there, make sure that it's an operations management topic. Email if you're unsure. I can also help you reframe your question at times. And then I want you to take and develop a systems theory model, okay? Just like we've seen in the rest of it, look at the inputs, the processes, and the outputs of your model, okay? Again, if we're talking about this in processing of people, customers as they come in, we're looking at the customers, we're looking at all the things that they need to get completed before they get there, paperwork, places that they need to get to, and then finally the output would be servicing the customer in some way. And I need you to put together one of those models. Next, I need you to have some data, okay? You need to have some sort of data associated with this business question that matters to you. Find the data, put the data together. I'm more concerned about the process right now than the accuracy of the data. So if you find that you're struggling on just, coming up with the data, I would rather you focus more on the process than on trying to get the data correct. All right? That means if you've got to fudge the data just a little bit, I get it. I understand. Next, I want you to use that data to evaluate your research question and come up with a recommendation. Because that's what we do as operations managers, right? We look at situations, we compare the situations, we evaluate, we simulate, whatever it may be. But the bottom line is we need to come up with a recommendation for our bosses and say, this is what I think we should do to move forward. So if you're going to put together a recommendation, one way that I have used for decades is a decision paper. Okay, you will also probably see this already in the companies that you work for or companies that you're going to deal with in the future. Decision papers have a standardized format, and I'll open that back up in a second so you can look at it, but there's a standard format here. Along with this format, I need you to be able to include at least 3 references, all right? These references should be taking you back to either where you got the data or how you came up with your model, things like that. Those references are going to end up in the last section of your decision paper, all right? And then lastly, this is worth 40% of your grade, which means that since each one of the other assignments were only worth 10, I'm kind of looking at a pretty good amount of energy from you on this one, all right? So with that stated, you get to choose your topic, you get to go find your data, you come up with a recommendation, and then you need to put it in a format like you would put in front of your boss. All right, I'm going back to where we can look at this decision paper format. I left this for you as a Word document so you can download it. You need a cover page on this, and you will notice that this decision paper, it is a Word document, okay? I do not need to see your Excel file on how you did your analysis. I don't need to see a PowerPoint on this. I need a decision paper should be in a Word or PDF setup. On it, a typical decision paper gives a title on top so the boss knows, hey, am I interested in this? Who it's for. In this case, consider me to be the boss and address it to me. It normally has some sort of picture or something, some kind of graphic to where, it's at least interesting to look at. It'll have a date so people can look at this in the future and say, when was this done? And then it's going to have your name on the bottom of it. Again, typical format, problem statement. Tell me the problem that you're trying to solve. Okay, it's usually in the form of a question for a problem statement. Tell me the question that you're interested in. Next, give me some background information about what's going on. Tell me about the project that you've chosen and why it matters, okay? What we're trying to do here for the boss really is give them some background detail, tell them why this would matter to them. The next section, tell me the method that you went through to come up with your answer, all right? Tell me what you did, because in the future, you're going to need to be able to come back and say, this is what I did, or somebody else in the future can say, how did Jerry come up with this answer? How did he come up with this? And the method tells the people exactly what you did to move through. Another section very important for decision papers is the assumption section. Assumptions tell me, no, let me restate that. Assumptions allow me to move through life much faster, okay? I can't consider all of the different variables out there. I just don't have time for it. So oftentimes, whenever I'm writing up a decision paper, I make assumptions that allow me to put, fences on what I'm going to look at. Some assumptions that I have here, assume that we're going to keep doing things in the future the same that we've done in the past. Things like that. I'd like to see you at least put 3 different assumptions here, because what we're looking for is I need to be able to see that you're thinking about how you have set up these boundaries for your problem that you have never before really considered the assumptions that you make. And I'll talk to that point in just one second. Analysis. Analysis starts talking to the reader about what you found, okay? Typically it comes in the format of some sort of background, sentences, some sort of graphic. Make sure that you put underneath your graphics, label them as either a table or a figure so the boss understands what's going on. And then after that, it's another paragraph explaining what you're about to give them next, and explaining a little bit about what they saw in this graphic here, and then another visual. And so in the analysis section, what you're trying to do is you're trying to lead the reader through words and visuals to get them to go to the exact same place that you are, which is the final recommendation. All right, again, a little bit of background information, give a visual, tell the people what's going on, and then finally at the very end, you need a recommendation. All right, you need a recommendation about what's going on here. And I will tell you the common things that I see that happen in decision papers. Decision paper, whenever the analyst gets started and they start telling their story in the analysis section, they start chasing the data and end up at a spot that they weren't intending. So very common for the recommendation to not match the problem statement. Okay? You need to make sure that you check this out, all right? Because here's what the boss is going to do. The boss is going to see this on their desk or comes in email. They're going to pick it up. They're going to take a look at it. Am I interested in the topic? Oh, well, it's for me. All right, let's see what this is about. They open up the first page. They read the problem statement. After they read the problem statement, they'll quickly come down to the recommendation. And if they agree with the recommendation, they may not even look at the rest of the of the paper. If it makes sense to them, they understand who you are as an analyst, they may stop there. If they don't agree with it, or if they're not sure what's going on, that's when they start coming back into this and saying, okay, wait a second. What method did Jerry use to come up with this answer? And what assumptions did Jerry make? Because with it, there are times that an assumption that I make may not be the same assumption that the boss makes. As a matter of fact, if I'm looking here and I say that, in this case, the scenario we're looking at trying to buy one plant versus another plant, and that we're going to keep a plant running after it's purchased, the boss may already know that, no, we're going to shut that down, which means that all of my assumptions here may not be true. Okay, so after the assumptions are done, that's when they finally come in and start going through the analysis step by step and seeing if you agree. All right, a couple of things to make sure I finish this off. You do not have a word requirement on this paper, okay? There is not a word requirement. Instead, there's a content requirement that I'm looking for. I'm looking for a cover page. I'm looking for a problem statement that is based on operations management, enough background to tell me what's going on, give me a really good definition of or explanation of what you did with your method, at least 3 assumptions, and then in the analysis section, this analysis section really is a chance for you to show off on your operations management. Tell me, what you did, the analysis that you've done. Give me some good graphics. Give me tables, give me figures. Show me in some way how you came up with your final recommendation. Last, put another page, which is your reference page. Put it at the very end, all right? And then whenever you put that at the very end, that should have us all wrapped up. All right, hopefully this gets everything explained on how we're going to finish up the semester. If you have a question, please email me and I'll get right back to you. I know that we are down to the last few days here, so good luck. Let me know if you have questions.